Hello everyone, it's Martijn here. I wanted to take a few minutes to show you around Improve OSM. Improve OSM is the kind of new website service that we did at Telenav to kind of point out a whole lot of errors that we find based on GPS data that we have. So we decided to kind of expose this as both a web tool and the JOSM plugin. And I'm going to use a few different videos to show you around the tool and the JOSM plugin as well. So in this video I just wanted to give you a high-level overview of what the Improve OSM website is and how you can use it. So if you look at the screen there, you can see the Improve OSM website at improve-osm.org. And you'll also see that every link, every URL is a permalink, so you can copy and paste these to share the specific settings and location on the map with anyone. So if we go further down the screen, you see here the Improve OSM title bar with a link to subscribe to our newsletter, which is just starting out. So if you're interested in keeping up with the latest, then please subscribe there. We'll take you to a link to get on our newsletter. And then you can see here that I'm currently logged in as MVXL, which is my OSM username, so you can log in. If you're logged in, then you can actually use all of the functionality. If you're not logged in through OSM, you can really only browse. So that's going to be useful. It's going to become more useful to be logged in future developments of the website. So going further down, you see the main map with on low zoom levels. Like here, you can see a heat map of where the errors are. So you can see in the darker or redder zones where we find a lot of errors, and the bluer or lighter tinted zones have fewer errors. And then on the right you see the filter and select menu, where you can narrow down what you see. So by default you'll see the open errors, so the ones that haven't been fixed yet. And then you could also click to see the switch to the solved, or the ones that are marked as invalid, and more on that a little later. And then if you go further down, you can see that there's 3 different error types that you can select. So there is the one-ways, and I'll make a separate video about each of them. But the errors where we think street is one-directional, so it should have a one-way tag in OSM, but it doesn't. Then there's missing roads that are based on GPS data that we find, but there's no corresponding road in OSM. And then finally there's the turn restrictions. So also based on GPS data. This will show you where we think there are turn restrictions at an intersection. So just to give you a little more idea of the various interface elements, I'll just focus on the one-ways for now, and I'll make a separate video on the various other types after that. So just zooming in on a promising area. So looking at Nashville, Tennessee. And this is a global service, so there's a lot of data in the US, there's a lot of data in Europe, but there's definitely data kind of all over the place. And then you can see if you zoom far enough in, that the heat map is changing into kind of the individual errors that we find. And you can see in this case that we're seeing here that we think this 4th Avenue South is going from kind of northwest to southeast, and whereas in OSM it's not a one-way street. So if I'd want to kind of inspect that error a little bit more, I want to click on it, and then you see the information and action panel with a few different items. You can see at the top some basic information. So the vast majority of drivers that we had driving over this section has traveled in the indicated direction, with a total number of trips of a little over 5,500. These are mostly kind of internal OSM identifiers that we use to debug. This is a local road, so which corresponds mostly to a residential in OSM. but this is our internal classification of that road. So we have local roads and then a few higher types that we'll probably encounter down along the way. Status, so currently this one is open, so it hasn't been fixed yet, and you can edit that using this edit menu here. And then the confidence, so this is one that's highly probable based on mostly this figure here. Almost 100% of trips went in that one direction, so we label this highly probable. And if you see at the right here, you'll be able to kind of filter in kind of less likely one ways as well, but by default you'll only see the highest probability ones. And then the actions you can take. So there's you can add a comment. For example, if you want someone local to check this out, you could say that, or you're not quite sure. These comments don't go to OSM itself. They stay inside the Improve OSM system for now. And you can send the comment using this button here. And then finally, you can of course, perhaps most importantly, you can edit this particular section on osm.org, which will launch your default editor as set on the osm.org website. So it could be either ID or Potlatch or JOSM. But there's also a dedicated JOSM link here, that takes you directly to JOSM. So finishing up the interface elements, you can see a little icon here that you can click to give ideas, to share your ideas and give feedback on the website, which takes you to an external system that we have set up for that. It's basically just a feedback collection tool, and we check that pretty regularly, even if you don't immediately see a comment. Know that that everything you enter there is being looked at by either me or one of our developers. So that's the basic interface. In the next video, I'll go into the editing process a little bit more and into a little bit more depth on the various error types that we have. So I hope you enjoy these videos, and let me know what you think, and see you in some of the other videos hopefully.